This is my message to the game. Open your ears and feel my pain. Hear the cries of a man just trying to see change. I'm dope without dope in my veins. I'm dope without dope. I'm dope without dope. I said I'm dope without dope in my veins. I'm dope without dope. I'm dope without dope. I said I'm dope without dope in my veins. But you's a dope boy, right? I seen too many friends come and gone, chasing that dope boy life. It's taking many lives. Users dead, dealers doing 25, but you ain't worried about nothing, right? Leaving kids fatherless while collaging pics and new J's. Let me tell you, homie, you are not the ish. Hoodie on, 2 blankets, rough nights, cold weather. This is what hip hop promotes. Y'all should know better. That's a cycle of death. Shit's deep when you're flowing up shit's creek, so I address my views of the game. So every breath that I take from now on is exposing the foes, corroding your brain. Listen up, don't label me. Middle fingers up to all the ones who hate on me. I hope my words speak volume.
This is Joe Gonzalez with episode 2 of I'm Dope Without Dope Television. Today we have another good show. We got interviews with Nick Bump and Barb Proper, along with a couple updates. We got the Windsor event. There's going to be a Windsor Heroin Awareness Night at the West Windsor Baptist Church, 166 North Road in Windsor. That's from 6 to 8. We'll be there with a table to hopefully bring some education and some knowledge, to the Windsor area and answer some questions. We got the April 18th Ball for a Cause. We still got maybe 1 or 2 spots left if you guys want to join. That's April 18th, all-day event. Starts at 8 a.m. It's $175 a team, max 7 people on a team, and that comes with some jerseys. So let me know, hit us up on Facebook or whatnot, or me personally. We also have a BCC event, a Binghamton Awareness Night at BCC, projected to hold up to 750 people, and this will be April 28th from 7 to 9 p.m. Doors will be open about 6. There'll be a lot of good speakers. We got Steve Chastain, Penny Stringfield, Merritt Hardplay from ACBC, Kelly and Mike from Dreams Over Drug Foundation. And if you haven't checked out their webpage, check out the Dreams Over Drugs Foundation. Check out Truth Farm on Facebook. You guys can tune in on YouTube every week on Monday around 7 o'clock for the I'm Dope Without Dope Television. Just go right into the search box, I'm Dope Without Dope Television, type it in and watch, share, repost, give us feedback. We also have the I'm Dope Without Dope t-shirts and the Love the Addict, Hate the Addiction t-shirts and bracelets. So if you guys want that, you want to start spreading around your area, get a hold of us. We do shipping as well. What else we got? Follow us on Facebook. Make sure to subscribe on the YouTube channel. And I hope you guys enjoy the show. This is Joe Gonzalez with I'm Dope Without Dope Television. Doing some more interviews here today. I have sitting is Nicholas Bump. How you doing, Nick?
I'm good. How are you, Joe?
Good. And you're in recovery, correct?
Yep.
So how long have you been in recovery, and at what age did you start using?
I started using at the age of 10. Pot. Drinking.
Okay, I thought you meant at first when you were like
no,
10. I was like, damn. I was like, heroin at 10.
No.
Okay, so started with the weed and alcohol.
I started using I started using those 10, and more specifically, I started using heroin. First time I tried I was 16. So about 6 years I was using heroin. But I got in recovery. I got first introduced to recovery in 2010, and then I relapsed after 5 months of being clean, and then I went back out until last year. and I got back in recovery in June of 2014.
Okay, good for you. So you've been how many months clean now?
I've been clean for, let's say, 8 months.
8 months, good. All right, what school did you go? Which school did you go to?
I went to Binghamton High School.
Binghamton High School.
My whole life.
And what was your family upbringing? Would you say
Dysfunctional.
dysfunctional?
You know, there's a lot of addicts in my family.
Okay, so kind of do you feel like it got passed on, in a way?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Okay, and how's your family doing now with the addiction on their end?
Well, my father, he's in prison.
Okay.
He's an alcoholic. He probably spent the rest of his life in prison. And my mother's an alcoholic. Got a lot of aunts and uncles alcoholics. A lot of cousins that are addicts. But my closest family member is my sister. I got 2 brothers in recovery as well.
Okay.
They're both in recovery. They've been clean. They each
Did
have,
you use with them?
I did with both of them, yeah.
Okay.
They both have substantial amount of clean time. One of them has 2 years, one of them has 3 years.
Oh, good, good. So, does that make it a little easier? Seeing them on the path of doing what they need to do, does it make your road to recovery a little bit easier?
Yeah, they kind of put that pressure on me when I was out there. They kind of put that pressure on me to get clean. So.
And you got kids, correct?
You know,
How many kids you have?
I have a stepdaughter and I have a 18-month-old and I have a baby on the way.
Baby on the way. Congrats to that. So you said 16 is when you started using heroin. What was the transition drug, would you say? You know, I understand that all drugs are gateway drugs, but what was that really pivotal moment that, you know, transitioned you to heroin? Like, obviously, you know, maybe I'm wrong, and I always say this time and time again that nobody wakes up and goes, hey, I'm going to try some heroin today, unless it was led into there.
It was actually the lifestyle I was living. Like, when I was 15, I actually started selling marijuana. Like, I started selling weed, and then just being around the people that I was around, I got into cocaine, and then eventually I led to, and I'm an addict, so.
So it's the addictive nature of things, just chasing the high, right?
Yeah. So as an addict, it's a disease, so I was willing to try anything.
Okay.
And once I tried it, it was.
So, I had a meeting today with, you know, a couple of people that, you know, run some of the rehab stuff like that or whatnot, counselors and stuff. When I was growing up, one of the things I always say, you know, we're really pushing the whole love the addict, hate the addiction. Back when I was growing up, it was ew to the drug, like the ill effect, like heroin was such a disgusting drug. Now, I feel like people don't judge the drug, they're judging the person. They're like, ill to the junkie and not to the drug. Like, why is it just that people aren't, you know, like, how bad is heroin really? Like, you know, like, why is it not like anything else? Like, people can drink once in a while and nothing happens of it. People can smoke once in a while and nothing happens of it. Why is it that heroin, out of all the drugs, has literally the same ending? Is it safe to say that if you use heroin you're gonna die? Like, just eventually? Can you use heroin the rest of your life and never die?
Probably not. Like, eventually, like, no matter what, like, whether you're addicted to alcohol, whether you're addicted to cocaine, crack cocaine, heroin just happens to be more lethal than any of the other drugs.
Yeah.
Like heroin, you get physically dependent on it. Once you start and you grow a tolerance for it, like, you get sick. And me personally, like when I started using heroin, like, it's just, there's something about it, like this certain type of high, you know, I don't want to glorify it or anything, but it's something that holds on to you. But when you get dependent on it and you have to stay on it and you have to have it to not be sick, like, that's what, like, takes it to the next step.
So, alright, so you're saying, I like that, no, you're not glorifying, but, so it grips you, takes a hold of you, correct?
Yeah.
It's the best feeling in the world when you're on it. So when you're on it, there's always the flip side. So what about when you're not on it? When you need it and you can't get it? Then what's that feeling like?
It's probably, I mean, it's lonely. It's a dark, lonely, cold place, and all I really say is you'd do anything to get it. Like, you'd do anything in the world. You'd leave your kids behind. You would rob your mother, you'd rob your sister, you'd rob your girlfriend, your wife. You'd take from your kids. You take from stores. You put yourself in situations. That's why a lot of people end up in prison, because when you're sick, You'd literally do anything for it. And and that's not. And a lot of people look at that like, how could you? How could you, as a human being, leave your kids behind, sitting there with no food, and instead of going to buy diapers, you go and buy heroin? Like, that's the disease. Like, that's the insanity.
Blocks out your whole rational way of thinking. Because I don't think anybody in their right state of mind would be like, little Billy's got to cry and piss on himself. I'm gonna get, you know what I mean? Like, human instinct is to take care of your kids. At most part, you know what I mean? Like, it's safe to say that, but yeah, you're right. Like, people just, all priorities go out the window.
And like you're saying, like, hate the addiction, not the addict. Like, me personally, like, I'm a great dad and I'm not using.
Yeah.
Like, my morals are there, and it's not, and that's the thing though, like, the perception of an addict is, you're right, it's hard. Like, a lot of people look at them like they're disgusting.
Like they're nothing, yeah. They're already in a lonely state, they're depressed. You think, people get this misconception, well, heroin addicts chose to be there. No, they chose to do the drug. They didn't choose to be there. Nobody chooses to be, junkie, rock bottom, selling their own kids shit. Like, I'm sure nobody chooses to be there.
Yeah.
So there's that misconception that they want to be there. They're already in a lonely state. Maybe I'm wrong, because I've never been in recovery. I'm just going off, my brother. I would go off experiences from family members. And then, then it doesn't help when society is just bashing and cutting down when you're already in a hard spot, and they just make it worse.
And like I was talking to somebody about this. Like, people, like, you could be doing what you're doing. This is how sick it is. Like, you could be doing what you're doing, helping each other out, and you could be using. I mean, like, that seems like people. That's what people don't understand. Like, it could be your assist. It could be anybody, your neighbor, your boss. Anybody could be using. So, like, there's different levels, like, different degrees. Like, we're human beings before we're addicts.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like, all of us have our own character defects, whether you're an addict or not. There's something that people have been, they not use a drug their entire life, but they beat their children, and they send them down to basements, when they...
Absolutely, yeah. Like, everybody's got demons.
So, like, me, personally, like, I'm a good person, and I like a lot of things about me. You know what I mean? So, but the drug, for me, it just happened to be that I'm an addict, and and drugs make me feel good.
Yeah.
And I like that feeling, and that's what it's just something that happened, and I can't help it. But when I'm out there using, like, it's almost like eventually becomes, you don't have a choice but not to use.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain, like, eventually, especially when you're in heroin, like, eventually you have no choice but to not use. And I don't want it.
So,
in the roots of my addiction, there was never one day that went by and said, I wish I wasn't like this.
So, like, now it's like kind of the catch-22. Like, if you use, and when you're about to get sick, you feel like death. But if you keep using, you're going to reach death. So it's like death on both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Eventually you're going to end up in jail.
So I always like to throw a curveball question in. And this just popped in my brain. And it's just bad, ridiculous how bad that heroin addicts get, ostracized and, like, really labeled and downgraded. It's almost, do you feel like pedophiles have it better than heroin addicts? Like, in the sense of how the community looks at them, like, more pedophiles get second chance? I know that you weren't expecting that, right?
No.
But, like, I think about it, they're willing to kick somebody out, in Johnny's situation. They're willing to kick somebody out of rehab, cut them short, and send them back on the streets with this disease. But some of these pedophiles, they're willing, time after time, no matter how many innocent kids they affect, bring them back in. They don't even give them the proper punishment or whatnot. This might be I might get some negative criticism for this, and people might look at me like I'm being an ass, but I almost feel like addicts get looked at worse than pedophiles.
Well, all I was really saying about that is somebody gets caught driving on a corner with 20 bottles of dope on them, they get sent to prison for a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then the other
pedophile gets caught raping a 4-year-old, and they do a year in jail and 5 years in felony probation because it's their first felony. Now, that to me is sick.
It's a double standard. It's crazy. But like I said, I like to throw curveballs, keep things interesting. You weren't expecting that, huh? No. Good. So I guess I'm going to answer one of the questions that one of the people sent me. So let's see here. It says, oh, here you go. Are you ever tempted to use again? And how frequent or severe are the cravings?
The thoughts pop in your mind once in a while. Depends on where you are in your recovery. Every addict's different. For me personally, like the thought hasn't really crossed my mind too often. It does happen, and the cravings, when they do happen, it all depends on what you do. But usually, if you have a good program in your life and you're around people who are doing the right thing, it's less frequent and it's less severe. And if you're more satisfied with yourself or what you're doing in your life, and people are good people around you, like you're in my life and we're doing good things, stuff like that is less frequent.
Yeah. So it's really the stay connected with the positivity or whatnot.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so how do you, being in recovery, what is the key to fighting the temptations and what keeps you motivated and going? I understand, I'm sure the positive answer, is the typical is my kids.
Uh-huh.
But what is it, not only your kids, but because you have to do it for yourself, for you first, before you can do for anybody else. What is the key to your road to recovery? What's helping you the most?
Yeah, like you're saying, your kids. Besides my kids, like something around this time is like different as far as, like I'm really excited about working with you, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Like when you give back to somebody else, and you do something for somebody else, like there's something in that that's more powerful than anything. Like helping somebody else out and seeing them smile, and like just even talking to another addict and they're struggling, because I don't know what to do. I feel like using and giving them a good positive word, and they leave and they don't use that night. Like stuff like that is
indirectly saving a life, pretty much. Like
Yeah.
That's definitely, like I always say, is that if we could help out one person, this is a ugly battlefield, and like honestly, there's gonna be way more tragedies and triumphs. And if we could help out one person, that's definitely key to everything.
And to be honest with you, it's not even just my kids. Like this is some of there's a lot of things addicts have done that like not only do we put ourselves in danger, we put other people's children in danger too. Think about it. You go to a store and you're going to take something to steal that you can use, and you run out the store and cops you. And let's just say something bad happens, you take out in your car and you hit a kid or something. Like anything could happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So being off the streets and doing the right thing, like, and seeing people don't look at you, because when I'm using, you can tell I'm using. They don't look. People aren't giving me that like corner of the look, like they're not looking at me like what's wrong with that kid.
Yeah, they're actually acknowledging you.
Yeah, like no one. It feels good. Like it feels good, like helping. But number one is like helping other people, definitely.
Good. All right. So this is the final part of the interview. I want you to look at the camera and give advice. What would you say to somebody that's struggling, somebody that's say messing with pills or whatnot, and they don't realize it's that bad, or the ones that realize it's that bad but think they can cure it themselves or whatnot? What's some advice you would give to somebody that's addicted right now?
Yeah, this is really deep.
That's the whole point.
The best advice I can give to anyone that's out there using, and first off, I want you to sit there and ask yourself a question. Is using drugs affecting your life negatively right now? Like, can you admit to yourself or to another human being that you're an addict? Can you admit that you have a problem? That's the first thing you need to do, is really realize you have a problem. And second, if you can't stop, and if you are, and you do admit that you're an addict and that you do have a problem, there's people like Joe and like me that are out there to help. From my experience, the only thing drugs have ever gotten me is loneliness, despair, and loss of family, loss of friends, loss of jobs. Financially, I have nothing. Even right now, I really don't have much yet. But I know if I stay clean and do the right thing, eventually I'll have something. You know what I mean? And it's not all about material things. But like the best thing I can tell you to do is like stop. It's not about just say no. Like, I understand. It's not that easy. It's not that easy to say, you know what, I'm done because this guy is staring at the camera and telling me, drugs are bad. Obviously, and I know drugs are bad. But if you're getting to a place and you're starting to pick up, hopefully this message, like, I promise you that nothing but turmoil will come to you if you keep using. The only thing good that would ever come out of it, like, there really isn't much good to come out of it. Like, the only thing that would good is like you get that feel good. That's it. That's the only good thing about using drugs. is that it takes away your problems and you become soulless. You know, you don't have to worry about anything when you're high and nodding out. You become soulless, and you know, you are spiritually lost. And for me personally, like, I don't want to get religious here, but God is a big key in my life. If you need help, you can always pray and ask for help. There's a higher power out there, no matter who you are, whatever you believe in. If you believe in something, you could pray to it and ask for help. Please do. I don't want to see anybody else die from this disease. It's killed a lot of my friends. My father's been in prison his whole life. I've done things that I wish I could take back, all because I kept picking up. So I hope this helps out. You know, I hope you reach out and help, ask for help. It never killed anybody to ask for help. A little bit of humility never hurt anybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's.
All right. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Gonzalez with I'm Dope Without Dope. We're here with one of the Burlington Associates. What's your name?
It's good, Jelani.
Jelani. So, obviously you know about the heroin epidemic we have going on there. How relevant is, how old are you?
20.
20. How relevant is it around your age group?
I mean, I know a lot of people who do heroin that's around my age because most of my family are crackheads. So a lot of them shoot heroin, smoke crack. So it's crazy, you know, for me.
So you've been affected firsthand through family members or whatnot.
Word.
What do you feel like this community could do to make things better?
Man, this community is just all messed up. Like, I don't know, I think we just got to come together and just try and work something out because it's a lot of people, mostly parents though, that just aren't helping their kids at all, giving them bad messages, you know, just doing craziness.
Absolutely. All right. That was simple. Thank you for your time.
All right, bro.
I like I'm Joe Gonzalez, and this is I'm Dope Without Dope Television. Today here we're speaking with Barb Proper. Barb, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you do for a living.
I'm a mom. I'm also a teacher's aide for, wait, can I say BOCES?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want to. Yeah, you can say BOCES.
Okay, I work at BOCES.
Okay.
Grew up in Windsor, from Whitney Point, and now live in Appalachian.
Okay. And obviously you're here because you've been affected somehow by heroin. What's your relationship or how you've been affected by heroin?
I have a son who became a heroin addict, and I'm here for him. And hopefully someone will hear his story and it can make a difference to maybe one person.
Awesome. So, run us through, how old was your son how old was your son? What's his story? Elaborate on his story. So what school did he go to?
He went to Whitney Point.
You went to Whitney Point, okay.
He graduated.
How old is he now?
He is 26 now.
6.
He is in prison for another 8 years. He went from smoking pot to alcohol to prescription pills and ended up with heroin. Ended up committing a robbery, same drugstore, in the same weekend, twice in the same weekend, and is now in prison for his crime.
So you said he's been in prison. You got 8 more to do, you said? So 2, so 10 years he got?
He got 10 years.
Was he in trouble before that ever, or like what was?
Minor stuff, not real big stuff. He did have an episode which was drug related. He was high on drugs and he actually stole a handgun from a family member.
Wow.
And I mean, he was in trouble, but not major stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the gun obviously was major.
Yeah, no.
But
I
mean, it just, I don't know.
So, all right. So your son was in prison. So let's rewind before all that. So was he living with you when he was using?
Not heroin. I knew that Ricky smoked pot once in a while. His father and I got on his case about it continuously. This is not going to go anywhere as good. Nothing good is ever going to come of this. He had an argument with his dad and moved out of the house. That was in 2008, and has been on his own ever since.
So what are some of the things that he put you through, you had to go through when he was going through his addiction with heroin? How did he do anything to you per se, personally, or?
He alienated a lot of family. Ricky and I have a very real relationship. He always says he likes it because Mom keeps it real.
That's a popular saying with the young kids, keeping it real.
Yep. So I didn't know about the heroin. I knew about pot. I knew he was using pills off and on, which again, he knew I didn't condone, or I felt myself a lot of times pushing away. He would say like, Mom, can I come over and have dinner? And, there would be times that it would be, yeah, okay. And then it would be like, well, I know he's doing stuff he probably shouldn't. I need to put this away and this away.
Yeah.
And, type of thing. Or there were a few times I made excuses like, no, not tonight. At one point he wanted to come stay with me for a little while, but I honestly didn't know if I could trust him.
Yeah.
So I didn't let him. I've always been a believer, I guess, in tough love. I have another son, and I've always told them both, if you're in trouble, I'll be the first one there to help you.
Yeah.
If you're the one who caused the trouble, you make it right, because I'm not bailing you out.
Yeah, man up and
Yep.
face the music, as I'd say. Yeah,
Exactly.
I understand that. I was definitely raised a very sink or swim, we'll say.
Right.
That's definitely how I was raised. So you went through all that. Explain that day that you got the call. Obviously, did you get a call?
No,
How did
actually what happened, it was in February, and I was getting ready to go to a yoga class. And I don't like driving in snow. Clicked on WBNG to look at their weather. Well, when you click on their site, the news site comes up, and there was this picture saying, do you know this person, blah, blah, blah. And my heart sunk. Even though the person's head was down and you couldn't see, I'm like, that's my son. And he was wanted for a robbery. And I was crushed. I mean, I called Kevin, my boyfriend, into the room. I'm like, that's Ricky, what do I do? And he's like, no, I think you're wrong. And I called another family member, and she confirmed, same thing. We had a friend who was in the Binghamton Police Department. So I called and I said, what do? I know that's Ricky. And he's like, well, we would need you to come down and identify and look at the video. And so I'm actually the reason he got arrested.
Okay. So, man, that's a tough pill to swallow.
It was the toughest thing I ever did.
He's your firstborn as well?
Yes.
Your firstborn, and now you're faced with a dilemma that you know it's him, and turn him in. So why did you turn him in? What made you turn him in? Why,
Because
what was the debating factor of that?
it said on the little news clip there that it was an armed robbery because he had a knife in his hand. And he had come out of rehab probably 6 months before. So my first thought was heroin again. And I just kept thinking, if he has a knife in his hand, is he going to hurt somebody? Is he going to kill somebody? Is somebody going to kill him? And it was I just wanted to know he was off the street and safe. And in the beginning, he hated me for it. But within a month or so, he came around to understanding why I did what I did.
So you're thinking about the future and not... because even if you didn't turn him in, he gets away with it, let's say, death by needle,
Right.
overdose, a robbery gone bad. The options are endless of what possibly could have happened. And so even though a portion of his life is gone, not
Right.
saying due to you, because he made his own choices, but there's a chance to, like, you know, preserve the other half of his life.
And Ricky, I do go visit him, and he'll be the first one to tell you, I'm here because of what I did, not because my mom turned me in. It was my choice to do the heroin, and that's why I'm here.
That's good. At least it sounds like he's thinking with a with a logical sense or whatnot. So, when you found out it was officially heroin that he was really dabbling into, what did you know about heroin? Like, did you know how severe it is? Do you know the outcome? How much of it did you really know? I understand, and I'm not saying you were that age group because it probably just missed you, but I do speak to older people that are in their 60s or 70s, and they're like, oh man, back in Woodstock, we used to do heroin. It's not that bad. They don't understand that it's probably cut differently. It's made differently now. You know,
Right.
Things evolve. Things develop differently nowadays. So to them, they're like, what's the big deal? I used to do it and nothing happened. What did you
knew
know about it?
Absolutely nothing about heroin. Absolutely nothing. I didn't even realize it was a problem in the area. I knew meth was out there because of news stories.
Yeah.
But heroin, until it became a part of Ricky's life,
And it came like a wave. Now it's everywhere. Huh?
Yeah, I knew nothing about it. Absolutely nothing.
So, yeah, it's definitely something that's all over the place now. It's just unreal, the amount of heroin and you know, I feel like it's hitting mostly, I mean, all the parents, a lot of the people I've interviewed are white, and I don't like to play the race card because it definitely, I'm sure there's minorities that have died from heroin, but just around here it just seems like a middle class to upper class Caucasian drug users. So, you know nothing about heroin, and now how did you start educating yourself? How did you start finding out more and more about heroin?
The internet. I've looked at a lot of sites to see about it, but again, some of the information is biased, some not. I talked to Ricky's counselor when he was in a rehab, which was short-lived because it was only a 28-day program, and this is all before the robbery. A lot of the information I found out is because of your group. I'm Dope Without Dope.
I appreciate that.
Which
we can help a little bit.
Enlightened me a lot. And I think it needs to get out there more.
I agree. I like that. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the hot topic questions.
Uh-oh.
You know, I like to play devil's advocate a little bit, try to, to get the raw emotion of things. So your son burglarized an establishment. He was detrimental to him and people around you, as people would say. Why does he deserve a chance? Why? Like, why? To the outside looking in, he's just another problem to the society. He's not the solution, obviously. So why does he deserve a chance in life?
Well, the obvious answer to me is because he's my son. But
naturally, yeah.
Beyond that, he's a young man with a lot to offer. And my favorite coin phrase for Ricky is, he has a heart of gold and a head full of rocks. He's a smart, funny, caring young man when he's off the drugs. And he deserves a chance to show the world that.
So, judge the addict, not the addiction?
Absolutely.
Is that safe to say?
Absolutely.
Alright, so here's the other thing, is that, do you know the statistics on lifetime recovery, what they are?
I don't, but my heart tells me it's a small number.
And I'm paraphrasing from what I've read, but so on average from what I've seen, about 2 or 3%.
Which is terrifying.
Is terrifying. Do you feel, or do you ever prepare yourself mentally for the worst? So say he gets out, are you prepared to ever get that call, or do you feel like he'll be that one to succeed? What do you feel in your heart of hearts?
Honestly scared. I mean, I think Ricky has the potential to succeed. if he puts his mind to it. But he has to do it for himself, not for me or anybody else. It's got to be what he wants from inside. Because doing it for someone else, to me, says absolute failure.
Absolutely. So, I guess we're going to end it with these two things in mind. I know that you have a letter from your son
I do.
that I can't wait for you to read. I have no idea what's on it because I didn't want to paraphrase. I just want it to be genuine. So this show's all about is the raw. I know you're going to be nervous. Let your emotions fly. This is not going to be censored. First off, I would just like you to look at the camera before you read that letter. And what advice would you give to struggling parents? What's some advice? Talk to the parents out there. If they got somebody that's struggling from addiction, they know somebody, talk to them. What would you say to them?
First and foremost, I would say don't have the mentality of it's not my kid. My kid would never do that. And don't enable them. I know that sounds hard, but when you enable them by giving them money or making excuses, you're not helping them, you're hurting them. Reach out, find a way to help them. It's kind of tough in this area because it's limited resources, but don't give up, and don't give up on them ever.
Well put. Absolutely. A lot of good groups out there. You know, you can always reach out to our organization. I'm Dope Without Dope. There's the Dreams Over Drugs and Endicott. There's wonderful people at ACBC, Fairview, New Horizons, ACC. I mean, there's definitely help out there. So I guess this is the time for Mitch Proper to read what he wrote to the viewers.
All right.
I'm excited.
I never thought I would be trying to help the world from a prison cell. I also never thought I would be addicted to heroin and robbing stores at age 23. My name is Richard Proper, and the person reading this is my mother. A few months ago, when my mother told me she was participating in an anti-heroin gathering, I was shocked. I felt proud and happy that my mom was doing her part in the world, and that it hit me. She couldn't stand for other parents or families to feel the pain heroin had caused her. My mother has seen me arrested, watched over me when I was terribly sick, and witnessed firsthand how badly I treated those who loved and cared about me. All of it because of a selfish and meaningless addiction to heroin. Barbara Proper, my mother, has never left my side or given up on me, no matter how horrible the circumstances. It is common for friends and family to give up on addicts. Sometimes enough is enough. Well, for everyone listening to my mother speak, I want you to know that most of us addicts who lose our support are bound for the worst of failures. So many people I've known have ended their lives in one way or another because they had no one to push them in the right direction. If everyone who cared about me had given up, there would be no way for you to hear these words today. I told a friend I was writing this piece, and he asked me what the best advice I had for helping someone with an addiction was. I thought about it for a minute, and then I told him, don't give up, ever.
Oh, that's good stuff. Well, Mr. Proper, we appreciate you writing that letter. And keep your head up, and hopefully when you get out, you can help others. That's all we have for today. Joe Gonzalez, I'm Dope Without Dope Television. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be here again next Monday. Got a lot of good shows, got a lot of good interviews going. If you guys want to be interviewed, or if somebody you know wants to interview, inbox us on the I'm Dope Without Dope Facebook page. Inbox me personally, Joe Gonzalez, or Jeremiah Harvey. Reach out to us. You know somebody that needs help, reach out to us. and we'll do the best we can to try to steer them in the right direction. I can't encourage that enough. I mean, we all know somebody going through it. Get them the proper steps they need before it's too late. Like I said, we got an event March 31st. We'll be up at Windsor, West Windsor Baptist Church, from 6 to 8 with a table. An I'm Dope Without Dope table. We got the Ball for a Cause, April 18th. All-day event at Highland Park. And we also have the BCC event, the BCC Gym, April 28th as well. And like I said, go to the YouTube channel, I'm Dope Without Dope Television, in the search box. Subscribe to us and give us some feedback. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you.